Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the beach of Praia da Rocha in Portimao for the European Beach Ultimate Championship Mixed Division quarter-final action here between Germany and the Czech Republic. The positional stages of this tournament are over and it's crunch time. Alongside Hannah Pendlebury, this is Tom Stiles. And Hannah, it's been a breezy and damp afternoon. The sand churned up a little bit, but these two teams are going to come out fighting in this quarter-final.
Yeah, we've had action stations trying to make sure all of our equipment remains nice and dry. We saw a little bit of drizzle coming in the previous match. The Great Grandmasters handled it pretty well, though, after 1 point of adjustment. We'll see if the Germans and Czech team can adjust the conditions here. It's been, as you say, a lot less windy than we've seen it earlier in the week. The sand is definitely extremely damp. You can see the slightly lighter patches where it's been churned up by the previous game. But those layout bids are going to be a bit harder on the players, and they're going to get some perhaps a bit cold in the toes right now.
Yes, I've been wandering around the beach during the last game, and the sand is a lot stickier. I guess that's the biggest thing you can take away. But it's a very light covering. It's not rained hard. It's just been drizzling for the last couple of hours. And it's one of those things where it's barely raining, but you spend half an hour out there and you're damp. The Germans over to our right with the Atlantic surf rising behind them. And the big 15 shirt of Michi Slulenberg spins the disc across the sky to get us open and underway here in the quarter-final. Deep into the end zone, the Czech Republic facing defense already early in this point. Trying to find a way out, and a huge layout block from Malta Blank. And into the end zone, Blank, very grateful reception. But that's the sort of pressure the Czechs are going to have to deal with from this big German side.
And that's Malta Blank. Double happiness, gets the bookends, the block, and then the score for a break out of the blocks from the Germans. And that's fantastic play. Very important, as we've already said, this quarter-final match, the business end of the championship. Germany having had plenty of wins, falling foul only to the Russians in a 9-7 finish, doing very well in their upper pool, sneaking a 9-8 clincher against Great Britain yesterday, their other tightest game this tournament. Turning to the Czech Republic, we saw them fall to Portugal early stages, but they've cleaned things up since. They took a loss to the Italians and the Spanish, but apart from that, wins to their name, and they have, of course, had that harder journey to this quarterfinal, pretty much annihilating the Netherlands side 12-8 this morning.
The Czech Republic were one of the showcase teams in the opening game of this championship, but again they find themselves looking at a pull into their own end zone and trying to find a way out of there. Remy getting the hand down, but the German deep defense weren't aware. This disc is going to fly into space. There's going to be a big bit underneath it. What a takedown! That is Teresa Chamakova brings the disc in for the Czech Republic. Hot running from the 42 shirt.
Yeah, the right-handed defensive cutter pops it, puts that right arm into the air, and despite the heaps of pressure from the laying German defender, just calmly keeps her composure, keeps her feet under her, so important on this surface, and just look at that trust and faith, puts it up, has a great eye on the disc and takes it away, snaffles it in the end zone to bring it level.
So easy under that sort of intense, close pressure. It was the 33 shirt of Svenja Pruns who is closing her down.
I think that's Esther Kunai out of Göttingen, actually a Dutch player, I think that is.
32? My apologies, I misread the number.
Actually, no, I'm not sure if Göttingen is in the Dutch player. I'm getting confused with Groningen, but plays her ultimate with Seagulls Beach.
Prien on the sideline. Nikki, as many of you will know, is a huge force in German mixed and women's ultimate. Coaching, she's injured this tournament, so she's coaching from the sideline and particularly focused on coaching the women. The captain of the Seagulls team that won the beach club championships in Europe last year.
Yes, and it would have been a relief for any female player, or just any player generally, to see Priyan on the roster, but then not appearing on the field here for the German side.
That's a nice first pass out, relieving some of the pressure. The Czechs have found some flow here. Dostal with the disc. And that's a brilliant shot through. Reels opens up the space. Chimakova. And again, this is nice disc work from the Czechs. Finding the space, breaks across, it's going to float in the wind and just dries out. Commentator's curse.
One of our foibles there. But good flow from the Czech. Didn't seem to be having too much trouble until that final little bit that didn't quite go to plan. We see the number 25, Nora Pool. She's rocking a pretty nasty looking black eye on that left side from having had a collision with her teammate Charlotte Mundel on their training session just before this tournament kicked off on Sunday. Had a little crash together, so good to see her not being affected by that too much.
Rush looks downfield, there's a big cut and a big run, and well read all the way into the hands, no doubt about it. The 18 shirt of Charlotte Mundel grabs it out of the sky for Germany.
Yeah, great work from Mundel there. Defensive cutter playing for Jinx, the team from Berlin. She's actually, so talking about the black eye on her number 25 teammate, Pool, she actually has a mild concussion at the beginning of this week after that crash.
Well, those two things are related.
Those two things are related.
One mild concussion and one black eye. Good practice session, guys.
Yeah, a bit of friendly fire from the women of the German mixed side, but clearly that knock to the head hasn't put her off in terms of her ability to read a disc spectacularly. Look how she turns the body to be able to get both hands to the disc. And a lovely put, just floats it out, does Anna Rausch.
One of the two Annas. The other one being Arne Gross. He's the bigger of the two, hence the name.
And so the Germans perfect, haven't turned yet. Czechs need to try and imitate that.
Smart defensive switching in the backfield. Remy coming through with the big bid. He's out of position now and chasing. Good switching again. Remy comes to the disc instead of following the man deep.
Yeah, great team defense from the Germans. They know each other very well, having practiced quite a lot. And that's Michi Schulenberg just making sure the disc hits the sand.
Maciej Stedka, one of the 15 shirt on that far side with the throwaway. Remy Schulenberg, crossfield, exposing the space and finds Arne Gross. Koźnicki looking for something. Gross available again. Coming back underneath, not quite quick enough. The Czech defense staying close. The three men move it back. Remy Schulenberg, Koźnicki with great form and a layout for the memory books. That one, great highlight reel play from the 55 shirt. And a superb point from the Germans, tightening the screw where they have a 4-point lead, or 3-point lead.
And look at that as Koźnicki goes up. Look at the taut body as she tumbles into the sand, just full stretch. I mean, it's what we've really come to expect from Melina Koźnicki. She sort of exploded onto the international stage with many caps for her national team in terms of on the grass surface. She's a firm favourite there, but we really saw her come into the fore last year, particularly in Cincinnati in the windmill final for her home team, the Mainzel Mädchen. Of course, that team also playing on the mixed side, and some of her compatriots at this tournament here. But that's a veteran grab. And the Germans go up 3 breaks, 4-1 now their lead. They haven't turned it yet, Tom.
Well, that's the tricky part for the Czechs. First, establish flow on your offense, then score, and then you've got to find something on D. The pass was into space. Pavel Milicic
Milica, I think.
Milichka. I think. We think.
We don't know. We're not sure.
For Germany. Pretty sure of this one.
Yeah, safe territory there.
Pool. Make sure of it.
Love to see these female connections with the Germans.
No, yes. Volzak again, making absolutely sure of those catches, positions the body right behind the disc, goes to the knees. Looking for a shot into the end zone, bit static downfield, but she just floats it over, no problem at all. Finds the exposed Inga Narias in acres of space, and visionary pass from Volzak. She's dangerous when she's running free. She's got the disc skills, and she's clearly got that game IQ as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic work. Volzak, not really necessarily the most known name coming into this tournament, but she's put her rubber stamp firmly on the play of Germany mixed. Bit of a superstar player in the making. If you fancy following her social media presence, it's LEVKEWAL on Instagram, and you can see why she is quite the determined athlete she is on this field here. There are plenty of photographs of excellent press-up form, some track workouts with a little parachute behind them. If you want to follow Levka Voskal and find out why she is the player she is, then you can do that on Instagram. But that's a great use of Narias's height there. We have a Seagulls player on the German mixed side, already a champion of the club scene and hungry for gold here on the beach in Portimao.
And Levka Volzak and Svenja Pruns, the three of the top statted players from that Seagulls side, along with Nikki Prien, playing with this German mixed team. And you can see Nikki just walking off the field there, chatting to Levka Volzak. One of the things she said about coaching Volzak was that she's just a sponge. She wants to know, she's keen for the feedback, she's keen to hear where she's gone wrong, she wants to hear where she can improve. And you know, as a coach, you can't ask for more than that. You want your players to be keen and be asking for that feedback, and that's a relationship that we hope blossoms and produces real results for Germany over the years. One to watch there.
Well, I think they're already seeing some results, and you know what, that's definitely a trait that Volzak has in common with many of the big players, most notably Sarah Surge Griffith. There's a big surge to the end zone for the Czechs.
Big run down, Morik Dostal on the edge of the end zone for the Czech Republic. Trying to punch in their second point here, floats it to the far side. And another beautiful high takedown from the 42 shirt of Chomarkova.
Yeah, Chomarkova there, getting the second point on the board for the Czech Republic. They trail quite considerably, 5-2 down in the early stages of this game, just 13 minutes having expired thus far. Germans up 1, 2, 3, 4 breaks clear of the Czechs.
The issue that the Czech Republic have got is this German D-line are currently operating at 100% perfect conversions. So if they've given the disc up, then they're going to get scored on. And that's happened 4 times. They're 4 breaks down, and they're going to have to bring something special out here. But this D-line for the Czech Republic in the blue and red shows the disc and spins one across the sky deep into the end zone. It's a great pull from the Czech Republic. Is it going to land in? Or it just lands out the back corner. If the pull lands out of bounds, the players can bring it forward 15 meters in front of the end zone to a middle point we call the brick mark. And that's a huge advantage. If the disc lands inside the end zone and then rolls out, they can bring it to the front line of the end zone. But there the disc landed, its first point of contact was out of bounds. So Malta Meistering bringing it right the way forward. Fink reaches high into the sky and takes that one down. Spreads the play across the field as the Volzak cutting, but Gross didn't quite look up early enough to see her. Kunai to Fink. Fink under some tight pressure. Kunai.
Real loose marking from the Hanaset. Toshnerova, when her mark doesn't have the disc, completely happy to just poach and sag into that lane, try and slow down the German offense.
Volzak, aggressive cut towards the disc, spreading the play again. Gross in the front corner, in the back corner available. And the Germans running away with it. Nicholas Fink scoring. It's a 4-point lead again, 6-2.
Yeah, that was a much improved defense from the Czechs. Sort of, as I said, trying to kind of clog the handlers, just poach out into the open lane, try and slow down the German offense. But look at that slicing backhand across the field from Wolczak, just really opening up the break side space and just devastating.
Smart play, isn't it? It really is for one so young.
Right, you are just 23 years of age, coming out of the town of Rostock. She's the coach and captain of Enzonis, her team back home. She also, fun fact, Tom, used to play with Denmark and actually appeared at the WCBU in 2018 with that side. And if you go back in the annals of her Instagram history, as I already name-checked earlier, there's a lovely photo of her taking selfies with her former teammates, many of whom which are here in the women's division.
There's a high stall count, and that disc is going to catch the breeze and blow away. Refreshingly little wind here on the Algarve today. We've had 3 or 4 days of very intense and quite chilly breeze, but twinned with bright sunshine. All the teams have had that as a challenge. Rausch now for Germany. Oh, it's a great disc to Schlullenberg. Schlullenberg down the line. This is nice. Nice. To Schlullenberg. Rausch available. No options deep, and the options that are there are static. Good marking from the Czech Republic. Floaty, but it's too low from Rausch. It's a turnover to the Czech Republic. Straight away, Dostal opens up the shoulders, and what a grab high in the sky from Maciej Stecka into the end zone, and Jakub Prusa brings it in. A hold for the Czech Republic, and a much needed one as well.
Yeah, that's a great reel in and then cast from Maciej Stecka, the young player for the Czech team. He actually, he's from Prague, only 22 years old. So we talk about Wolczak being a young'un. Maciej is too. His first tournament was the European Youth Ultimate Championships back in Wrocław 2011. He's now studying, well, he's been studying at university, had his Beach Worlds debut in Dubai, and then appeared for the Czech team at Royan. He's really enjoying the party on the beach down here in Portimao. But you're talking briefly a moment ago, Tom, about the fact that the wind has died, and it's so nice to see what the Germans can do. Their game on this pitch against the Russians was definitely marked by the presence of the wind, so this is their finest ultimate, and only 1 turnover thus far this game.
Fink for Germany. Wolczak coming out of the deep position, marked by the Czech junior, but cannot stop Wolczak's throws. How can you contain her, the 42 shirt? If you leave her deep, she'll score. If you mark her under, she'll come, and then she'll throw the assist herself. And Germany take the half, 7-3.
That wasn't the prettiest disc left up in the air for Esther Kunai, but let's have another look at that Stecka play. Nice big reach. That's a lefty grab for the lefty thrower.
I like the drop to the knees as a pivot. That's nice. And Stecka did also ask us to say hello to Ted. I don't know who Ted is, watching at home.
I like to think that Ted is Stecka's little teddy bear that he's had from being a child. That might be quite fun.
No, I don't think it is. He's also coaching the Czech under-20 side. Did you say that already?
No, I didn't. He's really given us all the facts we could hope for.
Yeah.
And his home city is actually where the Budweiser brewery is based. So see if he can brew up something special for us here on this lovely golden fluffy sand that's now starting. You can see how hard the players are cutting now, Tom. Not sure if it's being picked up on the cameras, but what a change for the surface. In the central field position, it's almost back to the same light color it was on Monday morning.
Oh, another pull. He's aiming at that back corner, and if he gets one in there, the whole Czech defense are going to be marching down and pinning the Germans at the back of the end zone, but just misfiring. Maybe he spent one too many pork chops at breakfast this morning.
Pork chops for breakfast?
Oh, you know, that's how they do in the Czech Republic.
Seem to be aiming for that be fair-minded sign. Of course, non-refereed game. Not even observers or game advisors present here on the beach in Portugal, and an error from the Germans, their second of this game.
Going to turf, Ubankova is going back again. The 17-year-old spins the disc across to Dostal. Dostal to Hora. Hora sends it deep. Who's going to be there? Oh, just chasing it down. Raquel Toshnerova catches her breath and pulls herself out of the sand. Big body blow as she dived for that disc. And she seems to be limping a little as well. Is she going to be okay?
Well, hopefully. She did take a little bit of a break from her other pursuits of dancing and ballet to do no sporting at all. She appreciates the sport of ultimate for its balance and also the mixed community, which she greatly enjoys.
And the two Czech women in a cup with Ubankova slightly deeper. Spreading the play. The gender ratio changing every 2 points here.
Honestly, I think, Tom, the real favour for the German side is when they have 3 women on the field. It really works out for them. The connection's so slick between those women of Deutschland.
Oh, what a disc that is. The big target at the back of the end zone is Arne Grosch, but Esther Kunai pulls out the scuba to open up the game to 8-3.
Kunai bringing us a little bit of flair to start this second half. A lovely scuba, visionary put, just drops in the back right, well, the near side corner for your screen. Beautiful little biscuit that was.
You're right, exactly what you were saying about the 3 German women handling. It's a totally different look and very, very effective. But there aren't really that many weak links anywhere on this German side. They're looking very strong. Came into the tournament as the number 2 seeds behind Russia.
And of course the Russians, the only ones, I believe, to have taken a scalp off them. That was a tight one. We saw it on this field. They went down in the end 9-7 after being pretty much neck and neck throughout that match. I'm sure they'll be hopeful of seeing them once more, perhaps in a fight for a gold medal, as the Czech put it up big.
Dostal sends it. Kovácsová spins it back. That's a smart move back to Marek Dostal. Low release. Too low, too close to the sand. It's called up by the Germans. What a take that is, right off the surface. The Czech Republic diving the disc from Dostal. It was nothing like what he'd planned, but my goodness, what a reception.
That one was so tight, Tom. You were so not ready for that to be a score. What an absolute blinder of a play there for Matej Stetka to keep it alive. Fabulous hands and great spirit. I mean, on the slow-mo replay, it's an interesting one, but Malte Blank, who was right next to the fingertips of Stetka, calls the score good.
Let's have a look at that replay. It's low, 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 so close.
Yeah, the little flurry of sand there, just coming up. I mean, that's got to be within, I don't know, a fraction
so close,
of a second. Could easily have been called down, but Blank happy to just say, no, that was a fair catch, mate. Good bid. Score will stand, and that brings it up to 8-4, Germans lead.
Sometimes our instant replays can show that the players have obviously got a decision wrong. Sometimes they just kind of throw more doubt in the way. Rob Schumacher now, the 99 shirt, plays his ultimate. Well, he's played his ultimate all over, but famous for contributing to Clapham for many years.
Oh, but that's a bid worth talking about. The 87, Malte Meistering.
Spins across the field. Volzak, again, just always lurking deep, available whenever the Germans want to look long. Schumacher finds Meistering.
Again, the Czech looking for just something to try and slow down the rapid and powerful offense of the German side. Love that lean back on the throw from Volchak, sorry.
Bankova came out of the end zone to try and get the block on Meistering. Perhaps unwise. Left an easily unmarked Nicholas Fink to run to the front corner for the Germans. And the Czech zone there, Hannah, was effective, but ultimately the Germans always look comfortable.
It's the thing, Tom, at the moment, when you match person to person against this German offense, it's really difficult to slow them down. Their connections are so good. We talked about how their women just seem to telepathically communicate between them on the field in front of us. And there's certainly, you know, all across, the connections are so well honed. The German mixed side actually played a warm-up tournament, which perhaps maybe was a wee bit more casual, but still pretty high level. The Copa Tanga tournament down in Castelldefels, which I had the pleasure of watching their final against the Yogo Benito Social Club, the famed international beach team with such a unique style, but they've honed those connections perfectly. So you're just as the Czech trying to slow down.
Big disc from Stetka into the end zone. One pass and it's all over. Great work chasing it down, and Stetka's disc was spot on. It's actually been a very clean game since we got to 5-1. Germany came out of the blocks. These teams have traded, but with the Germans on offense both sides of the half, they've just managed to pull that lead further away.
But the Czechs now starting to show us some rocketing offense of their own, as we see that beautiful layout grab. I think that's Havelkova. Havelchova even?
Tsva.
Tsva.
Yeah, Haveltsova.
Haveltsova. Well, Haveltsova had a go at that pronunciation. No, that's a terrible pun. I'm gonna go hang my head in shame for a little while under our parasol, keeping the light breeze off of us, as we see a wonderful co-commentator going to work. Raquel Doshnevrova. One day I'll pronounce it properly, Rachel, I swear.
Kunai. Volzak. Prunes coming underneath.
One of the big stat leaders for the German mixed side. So doing a little more quiet this game.
Volzak again. Moving it nicely now down to Meistering into the end zone. Arne Gross just slows the run and takes it down. Classy play from the big Arne. As he slows the run, boxes out the Czech defender.
Yeah, trying to find out what Gross does for a living, as our Wi-Fi just seems to die for my laptop. But
well, let me tell you,
PhD student, giving us an absolute lesson in boxing out a hungry big defender on the back. Just really holds his position well, strong shoulders, nice upright body position, goes up with two hands, doesn't give a single sniff of the disc, but that's good separation, unable to hustle in front. In that situation, as the Czech defender, you need to try and do something to get in front of Arne Gross.
It was really classy. If you're learning the game, there's a lot of skill in what he's done there. Reading where the disc was going to be, slowing down 4 or 5 paces before he caught it, and then accelerating again into the disc. It just gives the defender no options at all. They're going to have to foul you if they're going to get to that disc. Czech Republic now. Chamatsova is...
Oh, but there's a thief who calls a timeout.
Michi Sullenberg grabbing the disc as it almost crossed the end zone line. Team slap hands. Czech Republic unable to find answers at the moment against this big German side.
Yeah, Schulenberg there with a sneaky snatch out of the sky, having played for the German junior side back in the year of the millennium, 2000, with the junior program there. Caps with Germany open pretty much all throughout 2004 until 2012. He appeared for the Germans in the beach mixed squad back in 2011 and has been a firm favourite for that squad ever since. So a veteran of this mixed division. And of course, his ultimate sporting hero he lists as Bastian Schweinsteiger, a big leader for the German scene.
You see the German coaching crew, the two players in the black shirts, Niki Prien and Rue Vittel.
Oh, a big name in the beach scene, Rue.
And well, Rob Schumacher credits Rue with creating sort of a heritage for this team and giving them a base of knowledge and transferring that knowledge from generation to generation. Real nice mix of experience and youth, and with the leadership from Vittel. Rue will play the occasional point throughout the tournament, but he's really here as a coach and a leader.
You talk about the legacy of this German mixed side. I'm not sure, Tom, if they still go by the name, but they used to be known by the moniker of Sandstrom.
Big disc going up now. Bazov underneath. He's going to have to chase down hard, and there he is. 2 hands. No mistake. The Russian import playing out of Berlin at the moment, and a very welcome addition to this German beach side. Chases that one down. High fives all around from the teammates.
Yeah, one of my favorite names to say, has to be said, Vladislav Basov, the 25-year-old, as you say, currently playing his ultimate in Berlin, hence why he is appearing on this German side. Now that is a peach of a throw, just out in front. The defender on the back shoulders, just can't get to it close enough.
And he says, if I do something cool, could you please do a shout out for my first ultimate coach and friend, Boris Kilshko, and wish his knees good health.
Ah, there we go. Well, this is the thing, Tom. We're seeing up to the great grandmasters level some men in their, men and women in their 50s, actually, to shout out the women playing in the great grandmasters division. Lovely to see those women on the beach here in Portimao, but beach much kinder on your knees than the grass surface, so perhaps Boris playing a little too much of it. But we'll actually see Basov appearing, interesting, on the Russian roster for the EUC in Győr in Hungary, so look out for him later. And also he appears on the Yogo Benito Social Club team, so famous for their appearance and domination at beach party tournaments throughout Europe.
Jaromir Yachim. Oh, it's a great break flick.
Disappointed to see him not throw that upfield continuation, but perhaps a little wary of the German defenders.
Yachim has it again. There might be a deep option available here. Tried to pull off the same thing, contact made, and no contest from Rausch on that foul call.
That's unsurprising. That just definitely did not get quite as far onto the inside channel as intended for the target, Matej Stejka.
Well, Germany seemed to be allowing them to take that deep option. Everybody being marked underneath, trying to stop the short passes.
A little loose on the handler resets, allowing the Czech just that option to relieve the pressure.
Valtseva combines with Chamakova.
Chamakova working really well. She's going to put it up into space, but tipped away by Michel Remy. Heads up play for the German 22.
Blank had headed off to the end zone. He's going to catch some surf on his way, but he had to come back underneath.
Yeah, well marked out by Stedka there. The big presence of the man in the green cap.
Well, we've seen more turnovers from the Germans in this 1 point than we've seen from them nearly all game.
Yeah, they'll have doubled their errors almost.
Prusa. Again, underneath to Jakim.
Good conservative offense here from the Czech team. Just looking for their resets, making sure playing 100% offense right now.
Pavalkova. Across the field. Prusa. Oh, he's going to have to... Could he have chased it back to that back corner? He reached up high. Maciej Stedka thought he could make a bid on it.
Yeah, difficult target to overthrow, standing at 192 centimeters tall, nearly a full 2 meters of target to hit. Although perhaps on a different surface might have been able to explode up. We've been talking all week about how the sand just sucks the kinetic energy out of the bodies of the players.
Remy spreads it across to Pruns. Pruns continues down the line to Rausch. Rausch sends it deep. It's going to be chased down hard by Blanc, who takes it in stride, high above the head. Impressive flow and a long shot to Blanc. Scores this and takes it within one of a semi-final place for this Germany mixed side. They're up against the Czech Republic and very little that they can do about it.
So you saw there a difference in the marking with that turn for the Czech team. So we'd had the Stedka marking Blanc sort of out of those deep cuts for a little while there, but suddenly a change of mark. I think that is Jakub Prusa there, perhaps. Can't quite see the number on the back on our little monitor for that replay, but broken coverage for sure. Nice attack from Blanc on the disc, but I have to say, for one of the fans watching at home, there's Rebecca Evans will be enjoying the matchup of Stedka and her good friend Misha Remy. And if you are watching this live stream, this action from the mixed quarterfinals, we go to match point for Germany. Please do let us know, get involved at Tom Styles or at Discal31 on Twitter as we see the pool sail out the back of the end zone.
Yeah, Germany only 3 turnovers for the whole team, 2 for the D-line. It was the first time the D-line have recovered after being turned over. 12-5. A place in the semi-finals of the European Beach Ultimate Championships at stake. Germany, if they can break the Czech Republic here, they will take their place in that semi-final with emphatic style. Dostal for the Czech Republic. Quick backhand flick. Big number 2 comes back to take it again. Ubankova is available if. And the disc is caught one-handed, a real outstretch from Jakub Hora.
How did he do that? I thought that blade was in the sand for sure.
So he's bounced up into the air. Can they chase it down? Unbelievable stuff. Malina Vlodslova has to see the disc die in the sand after her teammate Teresa Chamakova.
Oh, that's so disappointing, so upsetting. There was just that tiny pause, that hesitation. Otherwise, she would have snaffled that one up for sure. Oh, the Czech, Tom, they're playing right at the edge of their offense right now. See if they can get it back off the Germans.
Rausch. Kochnitsky. It's a great cut forward, deep shot from Pools, going to be chased down, it's going to be run hard, but it just drifts back towards the back line. Nothing Florian Orforot could do.
Yeah, Orforot there knowing now is not the moment to make that huge layout bid. He's got plenty of cushion. The Czech will have to rip a lot of feathers out of it in order to snag this victory from the claws of the Germans, who pretty much nigh on put this one to bed. But it'd be lovely to see the Czech get another point on the board here in this mixed quarter-final match.
Moving quickly now on that far side. Again, Dostal available at the backfield. It's gone deep now as Hora. The disc has gone up. Pressure underneath it from Schulenberg. Hora rises and takes it into the end zone for the Czech Republic. Schulenberg not able to contain him. And the great point for the Czech Republic.
Yeah, Jakub Hura there being a bit of a hero. I would honestly, Tom, earlier this point we saw that roll curve that he absolutely redeemed. Oh, there we go. They've got the replay lined up. How on earth did he scoop that one up with the sand with the shovel palm? But that's two big receptions from him. Again, this, you can see they were just off shot. There was a tiny pause and hesitation from the number 29, Malvina Vltava. But the Czech able to bring it in the end and keep this game alive for one more point. Germans leading 12-6.
The Czech offense hasn't quite been able to withstand the pressure of Germany's D. They've been turned over 9 times. And as we've seen, this Germany D line, they've punched that in so often. Kune. That's a nice break to Anna Gross. Big disc to Levka Volzak, who just could not quite keep up with it. The disc raced away from her, did not hang around for her to run onto. The outstretched wingspan of Anna Gross. Oh, and a pick has been called back in the stack.
Yeah, I think as we saw before, Tom, this is not quite the moment to throw your body aloft and get aerial bid and put out a shoulder. But if you're Czech, perhaps
Anna Gross blocks on the front line, exactly the sort of thing that a big man like that can do.
Yeah, that's a tasty little hand block.
Which baits it, doesn't he? He just leaves that space open. Perfect timing. Back to Kune. So Kune. Meistering. Kune again.
Volchak available, sent to the field, but the handler's just swinging back and forth.
Gross has been completely poached off, and a foot down from Meistering takes the game away. The Czech Republic will have heads to scratch. Luckily, they'll have some video to watch to study where it's all gone wrong here. But the Germans take their place in the semi-final of the European Beach Ultimate Championships. Congratulations to them.
Well, well deserved, Tom. We mentioned it during the game. It was lovely to see what the Germans could achieve without the wind hammering them like we saw in their matchup against the Russians earlier on this arena field. But talking about what went wrong for the Czech Republic, the first half, a break out of the blocks for the Germans, a hold, but then that 4-point run where they broke 3 times, they just seemed to lose their heads a little, and the devastation of every time the Germans seemed to get the disc for their D-line, just punching it in. It's like being punched over and over. Great to see them regain some composure towards the midsection of the game. We traded it out from 5-2 up to 10-5, obviously with that half coming and giving the Germans that advantage in the scoreline. Then 2 breaks towards the end. Saw the Czechs get a little bit of, I don't know, like a just consolation point at the end. Some really, really lovely play though. Hats off to Matej Stedka and also Jakub Hura. The number 42, I've really enjoyed watching Tereza Durmakova, sorry, really working well in the handler set for the Czech side. So look out for her in the later stages of the tournament. They will obviously continue in their consolidation bracket, but no medals for the Czechs. But Germany keeping their eyes on the prize, and I reckon their chances are pretty good, Tom.
One to watch. We have a semi-final from the mixed division tomorrow morning, and then the final on Saturday. Marek Dostal deserves a mention. 4 assists for him in the game. And Michi Schulenberg with 3 assists for Germany. Levka Volzak with 3 assists. And Malte Meistering with 3 assists and 2 goals as well. Stats all over the board. And we continue with our coverage. 2 men's semi-finals coming up for you right here on the WFDF YouTube channel and on your Facebook. Do us a favour, if you've enjoyed the coverage and you want to say thanks to all the ulti.tv people who have been bringing you this action from the party in Portimao, just take the link from your browser or your phone and ping it in your social media. Let the people know that there's live Ultimate from the beaches as the action from the Algarve continues. From myself, Tom Stiles, alongside Hannah Pendlebury and the whole Alti.tv team, hope you'll join us for more action from the rest of the week, and we'll catch you again soon.